You're not sure exactly when it starts. Not the bullying. That's easy to track. Third grade lunchroom ketchup packet squeezed onto your chair before you sit. That's when the laughter begins. But the other part, the silence, the way your chest folds in on itself, the way you start muting who you are before anyone tells you to, that starts earlier. Maybe when you cried in front of the class because the fire alarm startled you. Maybe when you brought your favorite rock to show and tell, and the kids called it stupid. Or maybe it was always there. Maybe you were always too soft for a world that only respects loud things. You grow up quiet, polite, weird according to your cousins. You'd rather read than run. You notice things, like when your dad's laugh sounds hollow, or when your teacher avoids eye contact with the new kid in class. You ask too many questions. Why do people pretend they're okay when they're not? Why do boys only laugh when someone else is the punchline? Why does it feel like I'm always apologizing for being here? Nobody likes questions like that, so eventually you stop asking them. Middle school is the worst of it. You're not hit, you're not shoved. That would be too obvious, too easy to report. Number, you're erased. You're the one they pretend not to see in the hallway. The one who raises a hand in class and gets passed over. The one they call it when they think you're not listening. You walk like you're trying not to take up space. You smile too much, hoping to make people comfortable. It doesn't work. They call you names. Robot. Creep. You're like, too quiet. It's freaky. You become the ghost of your own life. You try to change. You mimic how other boys talk. Louder, sloppier. You buy shoes they said were cool even though they pinch your toes. You leave your poetry notebook at home. Nothing changes. You learn the rules. Don't care too much. Don't speak too much. Don't feel anything too much. You fail at all of them. So you do what the world seems to want. You disappear. Then comes the flyer. You're staying late to finish a quiz. Teacher pity again. As you leave, you pass the bulletin board by the main office. You never look at it. No one does. But something catches your eye, a bright red flyer curling at the edges. Student Voices Forum, share your story, change your school, you stare at it. Share your story. You laugh, softly. What story? The one where you learned to speak less so others wouldn't mock your voice? Still, your fingers reach out. They tear off one of the tabs. You don't know why. But that night, something happens. You write. At first, it's just scribbles, thoughts, phrases. I wish I could be loud without being laughed at. I think some teachers know and just look away. If no one sees me, do I still count? But the more you write, the more it starts to form. Not a speech. Not yet. Just a bleeding. A truth spilled out on loose leaf paper. You don't know if you'll read it. You just know you have to write it. You sign up. You don't tell your parents. The day arrives. You almost don't go. You sit in the bathroom for 12 minutes, reading the first paragraph over and over. But then you think, if not me, then who? You step onto the stage. It's not heroic. You stutter once. Your voice cracks, your hands tremble, but you say every word. There are kids in this school who go entire days without speaking, not because they don't want to, but because they've learned the world punishes softness. We are here, we exist, and we matter, even if your eyes pass right through us. I am not asking for attention. I am asking for acknowledgement. You finish. Silence. Then one clap, then three. Then a wave. Someone in the front row wipes a tear. You sit down. You feel real. The next day, something changes. There's a note in your locker. You spoke for all of us. A teacher pulls you aside. I've been here 20 years. I've never seen anyone say that out loud. A freshman follows you after class. I thought I was the only one. You're not just visible now. You're heard. You get invited to speak again and again. You help form a student advisory board. You join a leadership group that drafts school-wide anti-bullying protocols. You're on posters now, not your face, but your words, quotes from your speech. You help create a program where students can anonymously share their stories and get paired with a mentor. And when it's your turn to choose mentees, you pick the quietest ones. But not everyone is proud. Some call you performative. Others say, he's just doing it for attention. A few bullies from your past start mocking you again. Only now it's online. You think about quitting. You miss being invisible. It was lonely, but at least it was quiet. But you remember that first sticky note, and you realize this isn't about you anymore. It never was. You get invited to speak at a district-wide event. You tell them about how schools fail the quiet ones, how there are kids who never raise their hands because they've been punished too many times for simply existing wrong. You don't use a fancy speech. You use your story, and it lands. You're 17 now. You've been asked to help train teachers, help revise curriculum, help change what school feels like. You still walk the same halls where you were once a ghost, but now you walk with purpose. You don't speak at the forum anymore. You host it. You welcome the new ones, the kids with shaky hands and cracked voices. You hand them the mic. One of them reads a poem titled, "To the One Who Spoke First." You look down. Your name is in the dedication. You smile. You don't need to be on stage anymore. You've passed the flame. You were once the invisible kid. The mistake, the silence in the back row. Now, you are the voice that broke the silence, the echo that others follow, the proof that softness is not weakness. You are not a ghost. You are the change.